So in oblique, we start with just a straight on view of the part, like a multi-view. We're looking straight at that one face. But we're looking at, like on this part here, I'm not looking at the whole object, I'm looking at just one face of it. And so anything that's this direction is going to be true shape. It's going to have vertical lines and horizontal lines. Circles will appear round, not as ellipses. But they're not going to be lined up with each other. It might, from this face I'm starting here, I'm going to have these lines that go backwards now at an angle. And then connecting to that line will be this face, and it's going to be up and down and across. Okay? So it makes it a little easier to draw things that are more complicated than isometric.
Oh, just like you can pull the 3D objects back.
Yeah, we're just kind of tilting it to the side a little bit, but we're keeping the faces that are facing in that direction parallel to the screen. We're just kind of stacking them backwards. Okay, does that make sense? And so it's a lot easier to draw. Now it's just horizontal and vertical lines and some lines at angles. And so, like here, like on a box, you can see at the top, there's 3 of them there, and those are a little bit different. So this one, and this one are all a little bit different. The actual size of the box on the front of it is the same. What's different about those?
The angles.
The angle. So on this one, I'm seeing more of the side. On this one, I'm seeing more of the top. On this one, I'm seeing the same amount of each, because this one's at like 15 degrees or something like that. This one's at 45, and this one's up at like 60. So the angle can change depending on what you want to see more of, and that's up to you. We can also go backwards different amounts. So if I made this one, if I did this side, going this vertical line, and this is going back, are supposed to be, like in real life, the same distance. If I draw it the same distance going back here, it's going to look weird. It's going to look like it's not the right size. It's going to look like it's too deep. And so that's called a cavalier oblique if you draw it the actual full distance back. But it doesn't look right, so we don't do that. If you draw it half the distance, it looks more appropriate. That's called a cabinet oblique. But we can also draw it anywhere in between here and the full distance. There is no real rule on how far you have to go, as long as you're consistent for every line that goes back at that angle. So the angle has to stay the same on the whole view, and the distance has to stay the same proportion. And that's the rules. Other than that, you can be whatever proportion, percentage you want going back at whatever angle you want. And they could go this way instead of going that way. They could go down this way or down that way also, depending on what you want to see. So you can see this one, instead of going up, I went down. I could have gone down to the right if I wanted. It all depends on what you want to see. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So here these lines are horizontal and vertical. They stay horizontal and vertical. And then you just have that one angle lines. Okay? Make sense? Questions? All right. So let's do like 15 minutes to do these. So that's at 40.